Guys, I want to talk my delivery bug. Talking about Grubhub now. If you heard the other videos or earlier videos, you noticed that I said Grubhub is one of the top three. Grubhub, Caviar, and DoorDash pay the best, take care of their drivers the best. Pros about Grubhub: no matter what, you get paid every hour. If it's a slow time, you get paid, and you never have to worry about if nobody ordered. You just wasted a bunch of gas money. That's the awesome thing about Grubhub. They also let you keep tips, and they also pay you for your gas. So that is another awesome thing about Grubhub that I like. The cons about Grubhub: sometimes they're very hard to communicate with. A lot of times they don't have zones and hotspots on a map. Like, for example, when you go with DoorDash, there's a map and it'll tell you the hotspot. Same thing with Caviar. It's a zone. It'll tell you the hotspot. Most of the other places gives you a zone. And my first communication with Grubhub was frustrating because they would just simply send me a random text and be like, please head closer to our delivery areas. You're right now outside of our delivery area. And it would be weird because I had just made a delivery in that area earlier that day, in the area that they're telling me I'm not close to their restaurants. And then like sending somebody a general like text message saying you are out of the delivery area, please head closer to it, doesn't help. Like, give people intersections, shopping malls, like other apps like DoorDash. They'll tell you, go to this shopping center, go to this intersection. When I first started working for Grubhub, they just would say, move closer to our restaurants. And you just put both of your hands in the air like, okay, where's your restaurants? And then the other weird thing about Grubhub is they would send you an order that was supposedly outside of their, as I said earlier, outside of their area. So I don't know how they work. It's weird. Maybe there's different people who don't care that are at dispatch at that time and say, okay, well, this driver doesn't have anything right now. I'll send it to him even if it's on the other side of town. But the biggest frustration with Grubhub is they're not having their specific zones and hot spots. And if it's a busy time, the person would just say, please move closer to our restaurants, not specifying where our restaurants is. Especially when you're in the big city like Philadelphia, New York, DC, Chicago, Austin, Texas, etc. So that's really my only gripe with Grubhub is the communication can be frustrating sometimes. They don't get back to you right away. They'll give you a 1-800 number to call. Sometimes somebody answer it, sometimes somebody won't. But as far as paying you, Grubhub will always pay you, whether it's slow or fast. And if you're really busy, you'll get the money plus the tips and the gas. If you're not that busy, you'll get an hourly pay. So they pay you well. They will take care of you for your time. But the frustrating part about them is the communication. Other than that, that's all I really have to say about Grubhub, other than they have these things called scheduled blocks. So with Grubhub, you can't just go on like the other apps. Like, you can't just log on and go live now. You have to go to an app called When I Work, and you have to get a block. And hopefully, in some markets I've worked at, that can be really competitive because there's some people who are like click Nazis who will literally just sit around all day, wait at their computer to hit click to grab a block, grab a block, grab a block. Then it gets really frustrating because you can't get any work. But in bigger markets, like the bigger the city you're in, the more people will drop shifts and there will always be shifts available. The smaller the market, the least amount of shifts. So if you're in a market where, there's a million, if you're in the top 20 market in the United States, Northeast corridor, Boston, Jersey, Philly, New York, DC, Baltimore, and then far West Coast, California cities, Phoenix, and obviously the big cities in Texas, Chicago, and Florida, you'll do good at Grubhub. But if you're in a medium-sized market like Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads, or like a Cincinnati, Ohio, there'll be limited blocks available. So is the only thing, is you can't log on whenever you want to. Grubhub, you have to get a block, and people will drop shifts left and right, but you have to go to when I work and pick that shift up rather than just go on. The other delivery services like Postmates, DoorDash, other places, they'll just say, hey, hop on right now. You can get this much extra per delivery. Whereas Grubhub, you have to actually go on to a different app called When I Work. And that's how you can pick up a shift. But other than communication and then having scheduled blocks, that's the only thing that's frustrating about Grubhub, which is like a regular job. They're guaranteeing. So you have to take the pluses with the minuses. Like I told you guys earlier, Postmates, you might not get a guaranteed delivery per hour. You may do 6 deliveries and get like $12 in like 2 hours, whereas Grubhub, they gonna guarantee you those 2 hours worth of work. However, you have to finish out your scheduled block. With Postmates, you don't have to finish out your scheduled block. You can end it at any time. So it's up in the air which you rather prefer. But as I said in the other blogs, I know it's getting repetitive. Grubhub, DoorDash, Caviar pay the best. Uber Eats and Postmates, if that's the only job you can get, I stick with them, but they don't pay as well as other delivery services. And I'll talk about Uber Eats in my next blog. Thank you.